Greetings, my saplings. Alright, so we are going to be discussing the Jordan 1 Satin Shattered Backboard. To be more specific, like always in these how to cop guides, we're going to be mentioning some release info, how to cop them, and of course, some resale predictions. Now, also at the end of today's video, I did want to keep you guys updated on some other somewhat hyped releases, because you know me, I'm always trying to keep you guys 100% updated. So we are going to be talking about at the end the miadidas multicolored Ultra Boost 4.0. In addition to that, also the Air vapormax 97 metallic gold. But with that out of the way, let's just jump right into this because I'm not trying to waste any of your time. Okay, so these are going to be releasing on May 5th. Now, the retail on these shoes will be $160, but essentially, these will only, unfortunately, come in women's sizes. However, they are going up to a size 12, I believe, which means if you're a size 11 or a 10.5, you could fit in them, or if you're any size smaller, obviously, you could fit into these as well. I just want to make this very clear, guys. Whenever you're selecting sizes, keep in mind you are selecting women's sizes because this is a women's shoe. The resale on these is going to be insane, so you should be grateful if you're able to get these shoes for $160, but we'll mention resale at the end of the video. Right now, though, let's talk about how to cop them. Let's talk about how you could get yourself a pair of these Jordan 1 Shattered Backboard Satins. Kick it off with a raffle. You will be able to sign up for the Sneakers and Stuff raffle, but not now. You are going to have to wait until May 5th. Hey guys, just an update that I found while I was editing. Now, Foot District will also be getting these, and also for the SNS raffle, it is actually now currently open, so feel free to sign up for both of these raffles as of now. But essentially, what we've been doing is only one entry on SNS. However, what I wanted to experiment with, when you go to your address, and now this will only work if you live in a house, if you actually live in an apartment. So basically, when you fill out your address, on the second line of your address, put in an apartment, put in 1A for each entry, put in 1C, 1B, or 2A. Every entry should be different, so your address appears to be different. The algorithm won't pick it up, but when they ship to you, obviously it's just a house, so they'll leave it at your steps. And of course, for SNS, you definitely want to make sure you're using different payment methods. Also, just to be safe, what I would recommend is that you don't necessarily have to change your IP address with a VPN. You can if you want, but I'm definitely going to recommend that you use different Chrome users, so you have different cookies. And if you don't want to do that, just open different browsers. For instance, sign up once on Safari, once on Firefox, once on Chrome, maybe even try on your other computer and do the same thing there. Now, moving on to some apps that are going to be getting them. First of all, we have another raffle that will be getting them, and that is the Foot Patrol raffle. Now, unfortunately for this raffle, you will have to pick up the shoes at a Foot Patrol location. And I'm not sure as of now if it's only London locations, but it doesn't hurt to sign up, of course. Now, we also have some first come, first serve apps. To begin with, we have the Finish Line app. In addition to the Finish Line app, we also have the Chic app. So I do recommend that you download both of these apps as soon as possible. Hey guys, just a quick update I wanted to make. Kicks USA will also be getting them via Q. You guys know what that means. It means you can use the multiple people jig. In addition to that, Shoe Palace will also be getting them. In addition to Shoe Palace, Shop Nice Kicks will also be getting them, but they won't be getting them at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. They'll actually be getting them at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Just some updates I found while I was editing. And of course, if I get any more updates, they will be on my Twitter. If not, I'll make a video, so make sure you have on post notifications and you follow my Twitter. Now, moving along, of course, we have the Nike Sneakers app. Now, I was really expecting these to be a draw on Nike Sneakers because they are extremely limited. However, if you go on the Sneakers app, if you go in the top left corner of the shoe, if it is a draw, normally a couple of weeks before even, it would say draw opens at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Unfortunately, or actually fortunately, it hasn't said that. So far, this is a first come, first serve, meaning that, hey, we might actually get some pretty half-decent stock, at least, in comparison to a draw where it's a definite L. But of course, keep an eye out for updates. Keep checking the app just in case it does pop up and it does eventually say draw. You want to be aware of that. But so far, let's treat this as a first come, first serve. So as a first come, first serve, obviously you want to have your size selected beforehand. Also guys, make sure that your size is tuned for this specific release when you're selecting it beforehand. Make sure your size, if you're a size 12, you don't set it as a size 12 because there's no size 12s. These are only women's sizes. Make sure you make it a smaller size. Also, I'm not exactly sure if you have a men's size selected. It will automatically select it. So what I'm going to recommend, here's a quick tip. change your gender to female. Yeah, I know it's a little weird. Change your gender for female just for this release, and then select your female size. Also, of course, you want to make sure your address is already filled out. Make sure you have that box selected. Otherwise, it won't have it set as your default address and you'll have to reset it. Also, guys, make sure you have your payment also filled in. I recommend using PayPal, but if that's not an option, credit and debit works fine too. And now I've recently recommended not actually using Apple Pay, although it has worked for me in the past. Unfortunately, it is inconsistent for you guys. A lot of you were saying that the Touch ID isn't working, the Face ID is inconsistent. So for that reason, I'm going to say turn it off. But of course, it's up to you. I'm just simply not going to recommend it if it's inconsistent. Now, assuming it is a draw, or not even if it's a draw, just if you want to use multiple accounts because some sizes sell out faster than others, you're going to have different info on each Nike account. And I explained this more in depth in this video if you want to check that out. But there were some changes that I wanted to make to it. For instance, when you make the email, I mentioned that you should be using the +1, +2 jig, where you add a random number with a plus sign in between your email and the @gmail.com. I'm recommending that you don't do this solely for Nike, just because I haven't been getting multiple emails from Nike, even though I should have, because I have multiple accounts with that same email address. Because basically what it does, the algorithm thinks it's a different email address, however, you get all the emails sent to that main account, like your real account. So I'm actually going to recommend that you make a bunch of fake emails. Now, this doesn't take a lot of time. It takes, like 20 seconds to make an email account. So I'm suggesting that you do use legitimate emails for this. In addition to that, it, of course, is a necessity that you use different phone numbers for this. All you got to do is ask a friend to have them send over a verification code and then put in their number for the phone number. It's as simple as that. Don't you dare try to use the same phone number, because then you're going to have to keep re-verifying and eventually it's going to ban that phone number. Also, guys, do the same tip that I mentioned for SNS with the addresses. So make sure you change up the last word. So you could abbreviate it, spell it wrong. Also, make sure you add apartments if you live in a house. And of course, make sure you use different payment methods if it's possible. Also, guys, obviously you can get IP banned on Nike sneakers. Now, if you do get banned, it is just a soft ban, lasts a couple hours or so. It's not a ghost ban, believe me. Basically, we're going to use the multiple people jig. Also, make sure you have a VPN. Every time you enter the draw, make sure you change the VPN's location. And if you're saying, I don't feel like downloading the VPN, that is completely fine. All you have to do is use multiple devices on LTE. So set all your phones to long-term evolution, therefore they will have different gateways. Now, moving on, at 10 a.m. Eastern time, I'm expecting Foot Locker and Foot Action to do an online release. Now, it's almost impossible to cop off of there anyways. Also, it's not yet confirmed. I'm just mentioning this just in case, but essentially, all you got to do is keep spamming the add to cart button and hoping that you get lucky. Also, make sure you're signed in, just for safety. Also, use autofill. But more importantly, for Foot Action and Foot Locker, you guys should have signed up for the reservation apps. And if you didn't, guys, just make sure you're following my Twitter, because I did update you guys on this through my Twitter. And also, guys, don't think that it's based off of luck, because it's really not. It is only based off of how much you've spent. And yes, I will make a full video on explaining this and actually how you can kind of cheat the system. But aside from all of this, the number one way to cop these shoes is going to be this. Listen closely. Get up early. Get up at 3 a.m. Get up at 2 a.m. because these are very limited. You might have to do that, because if you wake up at 4 a.m., that might be cutting it close. And you say, okay, why are we getting up so early? Reason you're getting up so early is because these are extremely limited. You're going to be going to a Foot Locker or Foot Action. Of course, it's your choice. I believe Foot Locker is getting more pairs, so I recommend going to a Foot Locker. Make sure you're at your Foot Locker waiting outside your mall or whatever, or waiting outside the Foot Locker at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or whatever. Make sure you're one of the first few there, because you guys will have the opportunity to come back at 3 p.m. to purchase the leftover pairs that weren't picked up. And trust me on this, guys, there are always leftover pairs. Even on those Pass the Torch ones, there was one leftover pair, even though our Foot Locker only got 30 pairs. I got there at 5 a.m. and unfortunately I took an L. The guy before me got there at 3 a.m., so props to him. He did take the W. But if you really want these shoes, you gotta grind. Now, regarding resale, I think this is very obvious. Do I think they're gonna sell out? Of course. Do I think they're gonna resell? Of course. How much do I think they're gonna resell? I would say definitely more than doubled. Now, I'm saying definitely more than doubled for definitely the bigger sizes, because there's definitely a lot more demand on those bigger sizes. Of course, it is a women's shoe, so there's also less stock in the bigger sizes, because even though it's a women's shoe, more men are obviously going to go for it than women. And of course, it is a women's shoe, so they're producing more for the smaller sizes. But basically, the bigger sizes are going to be selling for more. They are definitely going to surpass doubled, in my opinion. Now, for the very small sizes, I'm not exactly sure if you can double your money. Perhaps you can. But regardless, you are going to be able to make some crazy profit. And now, if you don't want to make the most money possible, you just want the best chance possible, go for the smaller sizes, because like I mentioned, there's more stock in the smaller sizes, and there's also a lot less demand for them because there's more men in the sneaker game than there are women. But if I'm being honest, guys, I could fit these sizes. I would never even consider selling this shoe. My opinion, this shoe looks absolutely beautiful, and they're going straight to feet, and you guys will see the review. If I happen to take a W off of any of these websites or Raffles, unfortunately I can't get up early at 3 a.m. to go for them, because I got those lousy SATs, so wish me luck on these raffles. Now, moving on to the updates that I wanted to talk about. First of all, on May 3rd, we are getting the miadidas multicolored 4.0. Unfortunately, we don't have a confirmed time. However, for Europe, I'm assuming it's going to be around 3 a.m. And for US, I'm assuming it will be around 9 a.m. Eastern Time to probably 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And of course, you are going to be able to customize these pairs. So regarding resale, yes, I think they're going to sell out. Yes, I do think they are going to resell. However, it's going to be very difficult to resell these shoes. You can't simply put them on StockX. You'll have to put them up on eBay or through a Facebook group, or even on GOAT, I believe you could list them separately. It'll look like the used section. So yeah, you could definitely profit off of these. It won't be that much, but if you like the shoe, definitely don't sleep on it. And finally, the VaporMax 97 Gold will be releasing at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on May 3rd as well. You can get these shoes via first come first serve on the Nike Sneakers app or website. In addition to that, at 3 a.m. Eastern Time, we got some worldwide shippers, which will be BSTN and the Goodwill out. I do expect these to definitely sell out. However, I'm not expecting resale value. And if there is resale value, you'll probably lose money off of fees or just make very little. So just go for these if you like them, and don't sleep on them if you like them. But with that, I'll conclude the video. Good luck on all three of these releases if you plan on going for any of them. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed. Feel free to leave a like if you happen to learn something. Also, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you stay updated on all these hyped releases coming up, because we got a lot of heat. But with that, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later.
I want to talk. Get your foot off my foot. Ah.
Get your foot off my foot. Yeah.
Why are you always in my way? Knocking me over every single day. Get your foot off my foot. Ah.
Get your foot off my foot. Yeah.
I should have run the other way. Now there's just one thing to say. Get your foot off my foot. Ah.